Okay, it's noon. It's 12 o'clock. It's Friday. Welcome to the South Coast AQMD Tech Committee. Today's May 17th, Friday. I can ask for a roll call, please.
Supervisor Hahn? I'm here. Mayor Mitchell?
Here.
Councilmember Robinson?
Here.
Councilmember Vizcaino?
Here. Thank you. We have a quorum. So let's, if I can direct your attention to today's agenda, let's now take item number one. Item number one is now before us.
Good afternoon. My name is Walter. I'm the program supervisor for the Off-Road Incentives and the Technology Advancement Office. Today I'll be talking about agenda item number one, which is to adopt the resolution recognizing funds and accepting the terms and conditions for the farmer program for fiscal year 2018-2019, to also reimburse the general fund and to amend awards. So with regards to the background, the agricultural industry operates many types of off-road diesel equipment that contribute NOx emissions in the air quality in the air basin, particularly in San Bernardino and Riverside counties. In March 2019, the Air Resources Board released a new solicitation for the farmer program in the fiscal year 2018-2019. South Coast AQMD applied for the solicitation, and we were tentatively allocated up to approximately $1.8 million for the farmer program. Also, subsequently, for the year 20 Chrome Ware program, which was approved by the board in November of 2018, staff realized that there were 3 awards that needed project type adjustments. So, continuing with the farmer program, eligible farmer program equipment includes agricultural equipment such as harvesting, pump engines, tractors, zero-emission utility, terrain vehicles, and other equipment in ag operations, such as combines and whatnot. The projects submitted under this year's Chrome Ware program will be considered for farmer funds for fiscal year 2018-2019. However, they will be evaluated based upon the 2017 Chrome Ware program guidelines. So in terms of amending awards, the awards that were approved under year 20 for the Chrome Ware and Soon provisions, staff determined that, particularly for Bill Higgins Inc. and Pete Equipment Company, that the project types has to be adjusted from repower to replacement. And additionally, one more award for the Banning Unified School District. We are requesting to increase the award from approximately $122,000 to $397,000 for the installation of a battery electric charging station. Therefore, the recommended actions are as follows. First, to adopt the resolution recognizing up to $1.9 million in Chrome Ware Fund into Fund 32, and to authorize the executive officer to accept the terms and conditions of fiscal year 2018-2019 farmer grants, to also reimburse the general fund up to $113,000 for the administrative and the outreach efforts to implement the farmer program, and lastly, to amend the Chrome Ware and Soon program awards, specifically for Bill Higgins Inc., Pete Equipment Company, and Banning Unified School District.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Judy.
I need to announce that I don't have a financial interest or a conflict of interest, but I'm a member of the CARB board, and CARB money is involved in this item.
Thank you, Ms. Mitchell. Questions, comments, concerns, colleagues?
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of just real quick questions.
Robin.
First of all, with respect to Chrome Ware and the Soon fund distributions that we approved back in November, I was just wondering how the disbursement of those funds is going. Have we started with any of that yet? I know there was a little bit of a holdup, but so just kind of curious.
Yeah, they're following the regular cycle. We close our current program announcement for Moyer is open. We close on June 4th. And then we'll bring the awards, recommend the awards to the board like October, November timeframe for allocation of those funds.
And I was just more curious about last year's that we approved in November and just how that.
So we're in the process of contracting out those projects that were approved. Every once in a while there's a slight delay because of pre-inspection requirements and so on, but we're in the process of contracting all of those out. I would say about 75% of those fund dollars in contracts.
Great, okay. And then my other question was just about more general about the administrative cost recovery here. It looks like it's roughly about 6.25%. Is that the number? Okay. Has that number changed over the last decade? I'm just
Yes.
kind of curious
They
as
had
to
different, yeah,
how
I
it,
think Parkland B had different percentages, didn't it?
Well, under Moyer, it used to be 5%.
5%. So it has gone up.
With SB 513, we were able to increase it by 1.25%.
Okay. And how long ago was that it went up to?
I think it was effective in 2016,
Yeah, it was a few years ago.
about a
Okay.
couple years ago.
And I just know that a lot of our personnel costs are escalating, and things like that. So I just wanted to check on that. And is there a time frame where we go back to the legislature? And I'm guessing it's not just us, but all the districts on administrative cost recovery.
Yeah, so actually right now there's a big discussion going on the AB 617 funding. And the aspect on the administrative cost has been pretty constant over the last 2-3 years at the 6.25%. But what is more of a concern is the overall incentive fund. And on that one, apparently the Senate had dropped the incentive fund down to 0. The Assembly, and that's what Assemblywoman Garcia was upset about yesterday, saying that everybody needed to go back. What we understand it to be is a negotiation tactic. The Senate wants the Assembly to ask for the funds, but we're concerned because CAPCOA put in an original request for 617 at $400 million because we're trying to get a longer commitment out of the cap and trade funds, which most of that's going to the high-speed rail project. So CAPCOA and all the individual districts have been weighing in on the amount of the incentive funding, but we haven't had any pushback on the actual administrative fees aspect.
Okay. I was just curious. I mean, we all want the money to get to where it's going to be effective, but there's a cost involved. And as we talk about our own budget, just.
Yeah, I don't think there's a set cadence by which we say we should go back every 5 years, but it's not a bad idea to revisit it. So we do, I mean, our finance folks tell us if we're within the bounds of paying for staff and what that total is. So we're keeping track of it. And that's why in 2015 or so, we said we need to increase that administrative portion just because it's not paying for staff anymore.
Yeah. I think looking at it like in an every 5-year cycle or something probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Any other
Chair,
question?
I'll move the item if there's no further.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to move this item as well as a second roll call. Oh, do you have a member of the public like to speak on item 1 that's before us? No one here in Los Angeles.
No one here.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Hahn,
Aye.
Mayor Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Robinson,
Aye.
Councilmember Buscaino.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Aye. Thank you. And thank you, Walter, for the presentation. Item number 2. Juan?
Patricia's on vacation, and I'm Joseph Impoletti, and I'll be presenting for Patricia.
Who approved
Pardon me?
Who approved it?
Who approved it?
Who approved your
I did.
replacing her?
Oh, I did.
Okay, you're on. Thank you.
All right.
This guy's not have no sense of humor. They're all scientists.
This agenda item is to recognize revenue and to authorize EV charging fees, as well as execute a contract for EV charging, and also amend a contract to implement DC fast charge network. Some background here. In March of 17, we upgraded all the chargers here at the district. There was a 12-month pilot plan period after that, data collection and EV charging fees. Green Lots, our contractor, provided a proposal for networking software and for operation and maintenance services, as well as point of sale software. for the EV charge network. Due to the heavy utilization that we have from our employees of the EV chargers, there's a need to outsource management of the EV chargers. Basically, our staff doesn't have the ability to diagnose whether the problems are either software, hardware, or network. So Green Lots, we asked them for a proposal to provide us with that service. Basically, what that service will include, they'll have an 800 number that will post on the chargers, and that if there is a failure, an employee could call that number, identify the chargers, and within 24 hours, Green Lots would address it or resolve the issue. Since 2018, the fees that consisted of 6 cents a kilowatt hour for the first 5 hours and then 16 cents a kilowatt hour thereafter were implemented, and that generated $13,752 in calendar year 2018. And that only partially offset the electricity cost to charge the vehicles of $42,637. So what we recommend is to take care of some of that shortfall there, and to make it more sustainable is assessing the EV charge fees beyond the pilot period, and also instituting a $1 an hour fee to encourage the drivers to move their vehicles once they're fully charged. So after the vehicle's fully charged and it stays within that spot, they'll be charged $1 an hour. Also, we would like to be able to adjust the fee structure in the future as needed. On another item here, the CEC, which back in 2013 approved the project for DC fast charge network, although last year in 2018 they declined to fund the changes to the project. So in October of 18, our board authorized up to $350,000 for Clean Fuels program fund to cover those costs of that program. Of the 350 requested, only 310 was actually contracted with Clean Fuels Connection of the CEC funds. So Clean Fuels Connection didn't receive the full payment for their work, and before they received the stop work order, they had completed that work. So we're recommending adding $40,000 to their contract to make up for that shortfall. So the recommendations that we have today is to recognize the revenue from EV charge fees into the general fund, authorize our executive officer to adjust the charging fees in the future to recover electricity costs and encourage the drivers to move their vehicles once they're charged. Also execute a contract for up to 3 years with Zico System, which is doing business as Green Lot, in the amount not to exceed $644,000, and this is for a 3-year contract that would cover that software and the operation and maintenance. Also to amend the contract with Clean Fuels Connection in the amount of up to $40,000 from the Clean Fuels Fund. And that's...
Thank you. Any questions, colleagues?
So,
Janice has one and
Yeah.
I have one.
so does the technology exist for solar to provide the electricity for these charging stations?
Well, we do have some of it. We do have solar on the roof, and of course the solar goes into the grid, and that's also, you know, of course, used for the charging. We do have a canopy over some of the chargers.
Seems expensive of how much it's costing to charge these vehicles. And you're justifying the fees
Mm-hmm.
to offset the charge of electricity.
Correct.
So isn't there a point where solar becomes, you're not paying for electricity?
Yeah, so they do have, and you might have seen it, they have standalone solar canopies with a charger that's
Yeah.
embedded, and they have battery storage.
Yeah,
But those probably make more sense in a location where you can't install large-scale PV or it's not grid connected. Since we're already grid connected, and as you mentioned, we're offsetting some of those fees with our solar, it's probably the most cost-effective just to use the grid.
But you're recommending increasing,
Yeah, and it's only because we're undercharging right now. So-
but it's only to offset the cost of electricity.
Right,
You see what I'm saying?
sort of. Because
I love it, finally. You don't know what I'm saying. I just spent 2 hours not knowing what you're saying.
Well, there seems to be a threefold difference, right? But was intentional, maybe not the threefold, but the intentional low cost was set as a pilot program,
Right.
to see how people would do it.
Yeah,
So now we have a better understanding of what those costs are,
yeah.
and so we want to be able to correct that situation.
Maybe, how does a full cost recovery compare to like a regular gas-powered vehicle? So like you're paying roughly about 22 cents a kilowatt hour or something like that?
Yeah, it's, electricity is way more
Sure.
affordable and efficient.
Right.
Yeah, so it's probably on that order.
And the reason you're having them move the cars is because we don't have enough, there's more electric vehicles than there are charging stations?
No,
No, there's.
No, what is the reason that you're having them move?
people are parking their
They're just
cars,
leaving
they
them
just
there
leave them there,
Because it's
because
convenient.
it's so cheap.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna
There's
pay
no reason for them to
50
move
cents more or $1 more, I'll leave it.
So at my city hall, I think you parked there once, but after 4 hours, it becomes a $4 an hour.
Yeah,
That's
now you
because,
got it.
because the car's
Yeah.
fully charged and they're just trying to get good turnover. And you know, we're hoping that eventually we will get to that point. Right. So right now, it's still a pilot phase, but
Right.
you know, we want to encourage more
Well, that's what
employees.
Chairman Buscaino had mentioned, is maybe we should increase that instead of just $1, but that's why we want to start out and just to see how effective that, what's the elasticity in that price?
I've seen it as high as 10
Wow.
an hour. So,
Yeah, I bet you they move it,
yeah, absolutely.
I'd move it at 10.
Is the car owner notified through
We
an
will.
app when his charging is complete? So he should,
yeah.
he should know, yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we'll have signage and also on the chargers themselves that we're going to institute this new policy, and we'll give them a countdown date.
Questions?
Oh, there's a speaker here, public comment. Mr. Joyce is here.
So, please come forward.
At the podium.
Go ahead.
2 minutes on the clock, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, board members. I have a little video related to this item. While they are loading it, I just want to make a preliminary remarks. The reason I'm mentioning is not to oppose or support it, it's just to highlight the position that ARB, CEC, all the state funds, federal funds, there's a whole boatloads of money going into battery electric, oceans of money, whereas the hydrogen technology is getting only drips and drabs. And I'm afraid this may go extinct. The hydrogen technologies is a very powerful technology to meet local air pollution and global warming needs. So here's that short video on hydrogen. Thank you. How do we start? Okay. Go ahead. short message is, Madam, Sir, and board members, please let your staff and scale up this funding for hydrogen, because right now we are only reduced to 3 automobile manufacturers, and we don't have enough hydrogen, but we have boatloads of money for battery electrics. So thank you, I appreciate addressing that.
That's really good.
That's a great video. Just thank you for sharing that. Wasn't where we're allowing the public to share videos. I can't imagine like Mr. Eder sharing videos with us moving forward.
We're giving the idea.
But that was very impressive. Any questions, colleagues? Okay, a motion to approve item 3. Item 2 that's before us.
I'll move the item.
I'll second.
Roll call vote, please.
I guess, yes.
Mayor Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Pistoia.
Yes.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Thank you.
Green charges.
Third,
Outdated.
item number 3.
There'll be other ways to charge your batteries.
We have May Wang, who's here?
Yes.
Me, or is she on vacation too?
May's here.
I'm here. Good afternoon. This
Good
item,
afternoon.
this item is to recognize revenues, reimburse general funds, and execute agreement to support the development of a one-stop shop pilot project. So the Enhanced Free Modernization Program, which is part of CARB's low carbon transportation equity projects, we branded as Replace Your Ride. The program the implementation started in 2015. We had replaced over 4,200 vehicles with over $33 million. 93% of vehicle replaced were in disadvantaged communities, and over 90% of replacement vehicle are either hybrid, plug-in hybrid, battery electric, or fuel cell. Currently, we have about $7 million fund remaining in the program, with additional allocation of $6.4 million is proposed for fiscal year 18 and 19. So the background of this project, in June 2018, ARB selected Great Alternative to administer the one-stop pilot project, which is for increased awareness of low-income residents on states' clean transportation and mobility options. Also, to develop and maintain a single application for consumer to apply and qualify for ARB's low-carbon transportation equity projects. South Coast Replace Your Ride is one of them. So ARB and Great Alternative request our support on these projects. So the proposal is to assist Great Alternative in integrating South Coast Replace Your Ride program as a part of a one-stop shop pilot project, and support and coordinate community-based outreach and education of a CARB, Great Alternative, and the Great Alternatives outreach partners, and also to recognize revenue to reimburse administrative costs that are supporting these projects. The recommended action are to recognize revenue up to $75,000 from Great Alternative into our Hero 2 Special Fund 56, and also to reimburse our general funds for the staff times, and to execute an agreement with a Great Alternative to provide support in the development of the one-stop shop pilot projects. This concludes my presentation. I would be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Questions?
Mr. Chairman,
Mitchell?
I do not have a financial interest or a conflict of interest on this issue, but I'm a member of the CARB board and need to disclose that fact.
Thank you. Any other disclosures? Okay, hearing none. Questions? Any member of the public like to speak on item 3? No one here in Los Angeles.
No one
Okay.
here.
Entertain a motion to approve item 3.
I'll move it. I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Hom,
Aye.
Mayor Mitchell,
Aye.
Councilmember Robinson.
Aye.
Councilmember Pistoia.
Aye.
Motion passes 4 ayes.
Thank you. Moving forward, any other business for this committee? Okay, any member would like to speak on a non-agenda item for general public comment, please come forward. There's no one here in Los Angeles. Anyone there in Diamond Bar?
Yes, we have Rita Lupus here on a public comment.
Good afternoon, welcome. 2 minutes on the clock, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Rita Loof, Director of Environmental Affairs for RADTech International. And RADTech is the Association for UV, EV, and LED Technology. You probably can't see this, Councilman Buscaino, but this is a cover. No, I didn't bring a video. I'm really low tech, really. But this is a cover of our magazine where we got the Clean Air Award from the district. Hard to believe this was in 2005, how time has flown. But this was one of our proudest moments for our association to have the district recognize our technology as a clean technology. And I wanted to tell you about a program that I've been telling your staff about. Our board has now embarked on a RAD launch program. That's what we're calling it. And what we're doing is we're starting to work with academia and small businesses and young entrepreneurs to start clean air projects. Now, these are stationary sources. They're not mobile sources, but some of the projects like our shark skin development project that won the award a few years back, it actually improves fuel efficiency because it reduces the drag on aerospace, but also could be applied to vehicles. So this is cutting edge technology. And, you know, our program is small, a few $1,000 sponsorships. And most recently, Coalition for Clean Air has signed on to support it. So wanted to let you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Any other member of the public like to speak on a non-agenda item?
There's no one else.
Hearing none. Thank you so much, no one here in Los Angeles. We are now adjourned. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Joe.